It's time now for the Life and Times of History's Greatest Horror Movies Slashers Abridged Survival Guide with Ali and Jay.
At first glance, the similarities between M3GAN and the 2019 Child's Play remake were really hard to ignore. I mean, come on, you got an AI robo-doll that goes on a murder spree as a means of protecting their child. We all made the same exact joke and moved on. Well, at least I moved on because I don't have a TikTok account. But it wasn't until I saw the movie that it kicked me square in the nards with the fact that it wasn't just a ripoff, but a blatant one. It went so far that I'm convinced the M in M3GAN stands for Mac and Me. And gosh darn it, I have to cover all the stolen moments I spotted. And there is a rumor as to why it was such a ripoff, but I'll get to that at the end. Just bear in mind that this isn't going to be one of our usual riffs. I'm just going to be listing off all the similarities I caught. And I caught one literally from the word go. Because both movies open with a commercial for a hot new kids toy boasting very similar quirks. Except M3GAN's commercial isn't actually for M3GAN, but instead some sort of Furby without ears. Wow, so right off the bat it's stealing from two properties at the same time. That means if you pay to see M3GAN, you're getting 3 times the value. What a deal! The doll is a gift from a single maternal figure to some sad sack kid with no friends who just moved to town. Oh, and the kid has exactly one moment demonstrating that they like to draw weird crossovers. Also, the kid's birthday is a few weeks before or after Christmas. Oh, and I think both movies take place around Christmas. I think. Honestly, neither movie is entirely clear on that, but I'm gonna count it. Trust me, with this movie's track record, nothing is not worth noting. Oh, and said maternal figure gets the doll from their place of work, but instead of Caslin, the aunt works for Funky. Oh, I get it. It sounds like Funko. They just replaced the last letter with an I. Gee, where have I heard that before? Anyhow, it's not just any doll, but a brand new super high-tech Uber BFF with a ton of nifty features and some fancy schmancy AI something or other that allows it to adapt to their surroundings and cater to a kid's every need. Heck, the doll's tagline says it all, and yes, they're the exact same tagline. The doll sings to their kid about friendship, and that especially stands out in a scene that's lifted shot for shot from Child's Play. The kid's in bed, the doll's standing over them watching the kid tucked away in the moonlight. The doll sings a song about friendship, and it ends with the doll whispering, "Good night, Andy." Or, in M3GAN's case, Katie. God, even the kids' names. I'm just now realizing why they didn't just spell Katie the normal way. Clever.
Dear Ali and Jay, I was highly offended by your assertion that the spelling of Katie was somehow, as you put it, not normal. For your information, I've known a Katie or two. F*** you.
The kid gets injured by an animal, both on the same arm, initiating the first kill of the movie. And the dolls kill because, duh, they don't know any better. They just want to make their kid happy. Well, Chucky's safety protocols are intentionally removed out of spite, whereas M3GAN... Alright, the super smart roboticist aunt who built the doll herself with plans to mass produce her for nationwide sale, but not before giving a very temperamental child free reign with the doll, did not give the doll proper protocols. There's this really pointless subplot, dare I call it that, where some employee is stealing M3GAN's information, but he's not deleting her safety protocols. Dang, so close. Anyways, the first human kills are initiated by the fact that a reprehensible D-bag shoved the kid. The kid injures said D-bag, and whilst trying to escape, they aren't even really killed by the doll, but instead get run over by a vehicle. The dolls kill the old neighbor lady. You gotta have the scene where the doll's taken away from the kid and prepped for disassembly before springing back to life and attacking. The doll ties someone by the neck to something that lifts them up into the air, but they're cut down before they suffocate to death. There's a big event where the mother figure works to promote the new doll, but it's cut short when the doll starts killing people. Oh, we're spicing things up with these next ones. Around the middle of Child's Play, Andy disables Chucky, so in a last-ditch effort to save himself, he sings to try and butter the kid up. M3GAN, well, she had to save that trope for the ending. Chucky dies by getting stabbed in his power bank, and then his head gets ripped off. In M3GAN, she gets ripped in half first, and then gets stabbed in the power bank. Truly, truly ambitious. And finally, it opened with theft, it shall close with theft. In the very last shot of the movie, the doll is revealed to have transferred their self-awareness into a new host, who makes their presence known by flashing their light-up eyes in an otherwise dark setting. But instead of becoming a new doll like Chucky, M3GAN lives on as some sorta Alexa device. Funny how in Child's Play, Chucky is temporarily renamed Chode, whereas M3GAN actually becomes a Chode. Well, all jokes aside, I don't know about you, but the idea of a killer robot toadstool sounds absolutely horrifying. I mean, come on, she can turn her head to the left? She can turn her head to the right? She can turn off the lights! She turned off the lights! Yeah, and these are all just the similarities I caught upon first viewing. Now, there's a rumor that this film was essentially made to be one big middle finger to the Child's Play remake. You see, M3GAN was a Universal picture, the current owners of the original Chucky. Honestly, the similarities are so prevalent that I kinda buy that. One or two similarities I could let slide as some old-fashioned ribbing, or a sly tribute, or maybe even just a coincidence, but frankly, there's too many to just sorta sweep under the rug. It's kinda like what I said during our Mask Maker riff. Every single movie resorts to rehashing cliches, but this movie straight up steals things beat for beat. And the really annoying part is I don't even know exactly what it's trying to prove. This is like the cinematic equivalent of that old stupid childhood counter-argument. You suck. You suck. You're not actually proving anything. Say what you want about the Chucky remake, but you have to at least respect that it had the cojones to try something new. And yeah, I know there was some behind-the-scenes drama between Don Mancini and the filmmakers behind the remake, but that doesn't really excuse it. Whether you like the movie or not, you have to admit, this is a really lazy response. I mean, you got a $12 million budget with which to get back at your rival, and you just rip off their movie and water it down in the name of pandering to really sheltered teenagers? And before you say it, yes, I know the director came out and said the similarities were not lost upon him and that M3GAN was already in development when the remake came out. But for crying out loud, both movies were announced in July of 2018. The remake came out in June 2019, and M3GAN didn't start shooting until around 2 years later. That's a long time to take some notes if you catch my drift. And like I said earlier, there were reshoots. If the director or anyone involved really had concerns that Chucky and M3GAN had a couple things in common like he said he did, you don't think they'd maybe change something between that entire span of time? Maybe change a shot composition, change a scenario, something? I'm sorry, but I refuse to buy that at no point during any development stage, nobody at Universal was aware of anything Child's Play did beyond just killer AI doll, either out of morbid curiosity or word of mouth or anything. Now, don't misunderstand me, I'm well aware that both films have different themes. I'm not denying that, and I can respect that. It's just, I can't ignore the plagiarism. Yes, the film has different themes, and yes, every film borrows from other films, but there are so many similarities beyond just killer doll with AI, which is the only one the director cites, and with how celebrated this movie is and how nobody is really calling out the plagiarism, that just really rubs me the wrong way. I tell you what though, I can't wait to hear the DVD commentary for this thing. James Wan sitting there scene by scene going, well, you see, as far as I was concerned when I created M3GAN. Sure, pal, sure. Conversely, I can't wait for all the hate comments that'll probably go something like, LMAO bro, who even cares? Insert chain of emojis here because I'm not smart enough to contribute anything meaningful or relevant to the conversation. Or society. I don't know. Maybe it's all part of the bitch energy all the kids seem to love about M3GAN. I just don't get it. When somebody says M3GAN slays, I just gotta believe they have really low standards as to what makes a horror movie slay. I mean, this wasn't even edgy by PG-13 standards. What, do these kids wet the bed after reading some Goosebumps fanfic?
Dear Allie and Jay, I was highly offended by your unfair generalization.
F*** you.
On that note, you haven't really said anything this whole time. Did you want to add anything?
Fuck that pointless ass dance, and fuck TikTok for making it the only reason anyone gives a shit about this movie. I await your hate comments, fanboys.